think before the show, Tony, we were talking
We're
about Nicole
talking about,
Kidman,
yes, and large landholders.
and we're talking about large farms.
Mm,
Um, when the Kidman family sold a large portion of land, it needed to get approval from the Financial Investment Review Board
yes,
if they were selling it to an American entity or a foreign entity outside of Australia that doesn't live in Australia.
yes.
So that, of course, look, there's complications in if an Australian decides to start an Australian company, a Pty Ltd, a
Yep.
proprietary limited company,
Mm-hmm.
and then over the course of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, that company buys large amounts of Australian land,
Mm-hmm.
but then in 30 years or 40 years, that company is selling its shares. So it
Yes.
divides from starting as a small
Private.
personal company that's just private, not available
Mm-hmm.
to the public.
Mm-hmm.
As it grows, perhaps it joins the Australian Stock Exchange
Yes.
and starts selling portions, shares of the company.
Yes.
There could be a situation where in the future, 95% of that company is owned by foreign investors that bought shares.
Uh-huh.
But the land that was purchased in the company name originally is still
Mm-hmm.
owned by the same company. So
Uh-huh.
you're not selling, you're not transferring the land. There isn't the second bite of the cherry that the tax department gets.
Right.
But now what's happened is that that property has been sold because the company has sold some of its shares
Yes.
or transferred some of the shares,
Yes.
which in effect meant that the ownership changed. So the government keeps a very close eye on these large interactions.
Mm-hmm.
One house doesn't make much of a difference, but 300 acres makes a
Yes.
difference.
Yes.
So the Financial Investment Review Board controls and monitors this type of stuff, all for the benefit of
The
taxes for
Australians.
the Australian residents, for the Australian citizens,
Yeah.
and to keep the voters happy.
Yes.
Obviously, that's their
Yes.
job. It's
Yes.
politics.